Jalen, just the experience that you guys went through as a group, the connectedness of this team, what do you think this will mean for you guys moving forward, knowing that you're just kind of at the doorstep of what you're building?
In the moment, it kind of sucks, everybody probably feels like, we let a lot, we left a lot on the table. And I think that's a really good thing. My first year, we had like a really average year and kind of got bounced out before even kind of getting into the playoffs. So to have the year that we had now and be disappointed is also like a really good thing, doing what we did. So something that we're going to build on and brought us really closer together. You can't get better with these experiences without having them. So it's definitely a good thing that we were able to kind of go through this together as a group, especially being young, and I think it'll serve us really well down the stretch.
Jalen, just what did the playoffs feel like compared to your expectations going in?
Probably about the same. It was physical. It was really competitive. It's definitely there's definitely a change from the regular season to the playoffs. Like I said, yeah, it's way more physical. Guys are playing like it could be their last game, so everybody's kind of just ready to kind of give it their all. So it was really fun playing in that environment, and it kind of opens up what you need to do in the off season to kind of be prepared for it next time you're in it.
And last night, Mark was just saying that he wants the feeling after the game that pain to be an investment toward the future. I just wondered, because we didn't talk to you last night, how you would describe that feeling after the game, and just is there part of you that wants to preserve that for the future?
It didn't feel good. There's no other team that I would rather have that feeling with, for sure, just because I know there's a bunch of motivated guys in the locker room with me. But yeah, it's a feeling that I'm going to carry throughout the summer and carry throughout, probably the rest of my career, that being the first time that I'm in the playoffs. But yeah, just use that chip on my shoulder and kind of press through that way. But it's something that's going to motivate the rest of the guys, myself. Like I said, it's a good thing that we kind of have that feeling early, something that we can always remember and, try and be better for.
You just mentioned there's no other team that you'd rather do that. There was Shay mentioning how there's no other team he'd rather experience that loss with. Mark said he wanted to continue to just be around you guys. And what makes this group so special?
Man, we're really connected, and it's probably a boring answer, but we have a really close-knit group of guys that you can't really, it's hard to really kind of replicate that or find. And it happened organically. A lot of it's through just being drafted together or, being signed together. So it's just one of those things where organically it happened, and, we kind of got lucky that we like each other. And then I think it grew into something more. I think last year really helped us get close. When you struggle together, it kind of brings out everybody's true colors, and everybody's true colors kind of matched up well, and we were able to kind of get closer as a team, and I think that was kind of the result that we got this year.
With this team, nobody has really gone out of their way to put their needs first. You could have easily been I want to establish myself in the NBA shape of it, and I want to be an MVP this year. It just all happened naturally. What all went into that? What all went into you just continue to stay within the team and not focusing on yourself?
I think for me personally, I want to see everybody else on the team do well too. Like I said, we have a lot of good dudes on the team that you can't help but root for and hope for the best. So from my perspective, it's just being able to give myself up for them, and hopefully that gets reciprocated. And I think it did. Everybody had a really good year through the ups and downs of the season. Regardless, I think we all kind of stuck together, and I think when everybody wants to see everybody else do well, it allows us to be comfortable and kind of play to our strengths and be the best version of ourselves, and we were able to do that this year. But I have no problem giving myself up for those guys and trying to do the right thing on the court, on and off the court, and I think that's kind of what transpired.
How does that show up in a guy like Josh, who started ever since he's been here, and he has to go to the bench, and other guys come in, something he had to deal with? How does that show up in that whole situation?
It's really impressive. There's a lot of guys in the NBA that could have made a really big deal about that, and I think ruined the camaraderie of the team. But he did a really good job of buying into that and just being ready when his number was called. A lot of guys have had to do that all year. And we've let it be known to him that that's really selfless, and we really appreciate him for that, being willing to do that. Like you said, when you come into the NBA and have the success he has, and then obviously we get in a big moment and we kind of move our lineup around. I think to be able to take himself out of that equation and kind of look what's best for the team, I think was really commendable. And, like I said, just kind of being ready when your number's called. I think he did a good job of that, and being willing to do that is something that it makes everybody else willing to want to do it too.
Josh mentioned how being around you guys was like his therapy. How he had a lot of ups and downs this year. Just being around you guys, talk about how much he loves you. Did you sense him needing that to get over those down times?
For sure. Like you said, he had a lot of ups and downs this year. Probably a lot of guys can't really play through that and be productive the way he was, and I don't want to say it was us, but I think understanding when somebody kind of needs you there. We're around each other how many months out of the year? Maybe like 6-7 months out of the year. So it's like every day. So I think if we can make his life a little easier when he comes to play basketball, it's something we were willing to do and tried to do. Like I said, a lot of it's organic too. It's just us being us, and we're not going out of our way to do anything. But I think when basketball is your therapy with guys you like playing with, I think it's really fun. And I'm happy to hear that we made his life a little easier.
And just with you being online, I imagine you saw throughout the playoffs maybe some criticism here and there just about your online presence throughout the playoffs. Just what do you make of that, and what do you say to those people?
Doesn't bother me at all. I got to play in the playoffs, be a key piece on the youngest team in history to be a 1 seed and win a playoff series. So, and compete in the last one to go to 6. Obviously, have a chance to play in the Western Conference Finals. Experiences like that will make me better. Criticism, I could care less about. It doesn't really bother me. I'm going to go back to a very good life right after we're done with this interview, so it doesn't bother me at all.
Personally, did you feel a need to maybe navigate that balance between, wanting to be online, being in that universe, but also like being here, being present?
Yeah. I think in the playoffs, it's probably just heightened because there's not as many teams playing, so now the focus is a little changed. So I got off of it a little bit. I wasn't on Twitter as much, but I was still there. I still saw some of the stuff, but like I said, it doesn't really hold any value. It's, behind a keyboard. There's also a lot of love, on social media too. I think in the heat of it, you want to be consumed so much with people that are possibly preying on your downfall or hating, but at the same time, I got a lot of true, authentic love and appreciation for what we've been doing all year. So you kind of just got to take it with a grain of salt. But I try and just use it as motivation and go from there. But I think all year nothing really changed. I try and navigate my way through social media and try and use it as a positive kind of force.
Do you think the marking will carry over into next year, and do you hope it does, and do you like how this place is completely kind of taken to you, having that kind of fun out there on the court? You hope it sticks?
Yeah, I hope it continues. I think it's cool. I've been on record saying I've been barked at Target or or Starbucks. We could probably chill on that a little bit, but I think it's a really cool thing. It's like our team thing. Kind of going back to the social media thing. People were hating on that too, but I think it's just a really fun thing that we didn't even try to do. It just kind of ended up happening. Somebody's mom was barking during the game, so it's one of those things that's really cool. So yeah, I hope it happens. I think it's kind of our identity, and it's been cool. I think a lot of our identity hasn't been forced either. A lot of it's just us being goofy, and then it kind of ends up being something pretty cool. So I enjoy it. I hope it continues. I'll keep doing like little T-shirts at the pregame thing. Nothing in that department is going to change.
First team All League bids. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Shea got MVP. I don't know how you feel about that. I personally like parity, and he's won like 2 or 3 now. But either way, I think Lou got like third team or
Lou should have been higher.
mentioned. Yeah. What's your opinion on him getting snubbed? First team, my opinion.
I think he is a first team snub. I don't want to say anything that's going to get me out of graces of being the first team, but I mean, fashion is subjective. I will say that. And league fits will, like, I'm cool with them too. So, it's just one of those things. It's like really like preference based. So, I would say just wear whatever you want. Like I said, fashion is subjective. So everybody's going to have a different opinion on what it is. Shea got MVP. I think he should have gotten the actual MVP. So I think it was good that he got the league fits one. But yeah, I think it's like a cool thing. It's fun.
Definitely, and then on top of that, how does like you being first team this year, how does that, in your opinion, parlay into Paris Fashion Week and you getting more opportunities like in the fashion space? How much are you looking forward to that?
It should be fun. Paris sounds exhausting right now. It definitely opens up different doors. When the basketball stops bouncing, whenever that is, it's cool to have like other outlets and stuff like that. So I haven't given like the fashion week and all that stuff too much thought yet. But it's something that opens a lot of doors, something that I like to do outside of basketball, especially when I got in the NBA. I kind of found it more as an outlet. I kind of find myself in my closet just kind of like trying different stuff on and doing that just kind of like a release, something else besides basketball. So it's been good for me. Hopefully somebody pays for my flight to go out there. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think it kind of adds to something I'd like to do when basketball's done, and we all kind of know how fashion is kind of integrating from basketball and how those worlds are colliding. So.
Dub, you mentioned after the series that you sort of know what you need to work on. How do you sort of decipher like those things? Because there's only so many hours in the day and so many basketball skills. Like, how do you sort of figure out like what's number one on the agenda you need to add?
I forgot who I heard this from when I was in like 8th grade, but it was just like every summer you try and pick something, one thing, no matter what it is, and get really good at that. And then try and hone in the rest of the skills that you have. So, like this playoffs, I'm not going to disclose what I got to do, but this playoffs, I'm going to pick one thing that I was like, okay, this is what was more difficult for me to do, and I'm going to really kind of hone in on that all summer. And then, as the summer progresses, I'm going to get really good at that one thing and hone in the rest of the skills that I already have. I had a really good year, so just trying to add to that and keep those same skills and just get really elite at one of my weaknesses that I think I wouldn't even say a weakness, one of the things that I'm not as good at, and kind of get really good at that and then add to it.
Have you decided on that, or is there like an evaluation period?
Yeah, I already know.
What was that for you last summer?
Coming into this year? Understanding my spots. So last year I watched a ton of film. I think if you kind of watched last year too, I didn't really even, a big part of my game was kind of like bumping and getting to like that little elbow pull up. I did not have that last summer, coming into this year. That wasn't something I really did, but it was somewhere that I was ending up on the floor a lot, and just kind of like within our offense, that was somewhere where I was kind of getting stuck and picking the ball up and not really knowing what to do. So that was something I added to my game, and I still only shot like one free throw a game, but being able to draw fouls a little bit this year and play through contact, I thought I was able to kind of add that a lot to my game. I thought I finished really well this year, so I was able to kind of add those two things, and then now that's something that this summer will be on the back end of keeping it sharp and then getting better at something from this past year.
What all goes into finding your favorite spots on the floor?
Trial and error. The more you play, the more you as a basketball player, you know what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with. And then the goal at the end of the day is to blend the two so people can't really see it. So a lot of it is just looking at film and remembering how it felt to shoot certain shots. And it's kind of hard to explain. It's like one of those things with sports. It's like you're going to really be the only person that like actually knows how you feel in those situations. So just trying to watch all my shots and shots I didn't shoot, and then just trying to remember what made me comfortable shooting this one and what made me uncomfortable shooting that one.
Kinrich, in an endearing way, said you're a different type of guy. What do you think he means by that?
How do you say it?
Yeah.
Was he smiling?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Hopefully it was maybe basketball related. I don't even know. Maybe I'll have a better answer if I watch the video. Hopefully it was something good though. But we have a good relationship. You know, I ask him questions just about like being in the NBA, being a pro. He was big in the series too. That was who I was talking to a lot as well. Probably him and Shea, just about navigating the playoffs. And when I was struggling a little bit, like that was somebody that was kind of talking me up and keeping me engaged in the game, and did that. So salute to him for sure. But he was harping on just, you know, continuing to play the right way, being aggressive, and you know, not losing my defensive prowess that I kind of have, being a two-way, trying to be an elite two-way player. So he was big on that this whole playoff run and the whole season.
A lot about player growth, but where have you seen Mark grow in your 2 years as a coach?
Obviously, it's probably a little harder for you guys to know just because you guys aren't in the war room. But scheme-wise, I think he's been really good. You know, that comes from understanding the personnel that he has on the floor. He's been throwing in so many different lineups and, you know, giving us all different looks with each other that it really kind of helped us later in the season to be able to play in some stretches where, like, Lou, for example, is in foul trouble. Now Queso has to come in. Like, that wasn't something new that we had in. So I thought he did a really good job of preparing us beginning of the year. So I would definitely say, like, scheme-wise, he's been really good, just kind of understanding us as players. And, you know, that just comes with time. You know, obviously, the more you coach players, the more you know about them. And he's been really good with us this year and last year.
Last one to Yoko.
The other day, you mic'd up and said that the Shea is the worst of the lob. And then you were successful throwing the 3 lobs yesterday, but he also did pretty good lob.
Yeah,
What did you think of that?
I was very shocked, and it was and it was a big time lob. But actually, he is a great passer. It was very out of context. It was, we throw a lob every day, like before every game during our like warm ups, and he's never thrown a good one. So that was where that came from. But he is a good passer. I think he averages like 7 assists or something, so he can pass the ball. But
the last one.
But yeah.
Joe, now that you mentioned the lob, just in that moment before the next play, obviously altered the game, like what did that play feel like, just the magnitude of it all as it happened?
It was a big play. Thought we were going to win. I think for him to even pass the ball in that situation where he had 36 at the time, be somebody in his position, you know, he can't even get mad if he shot it. So for him to kind of trust us and, you know, obviously Chet, who got the dunk, to throw it and make the play was big. Just kind of shows our team, you know, we have a lot of trust in each other to hit shots and do that whole thing. He got squeezed at the top of the key with like 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and he threw it to Jay Will, and he threw it to me, and I got a 3 on the right wing. I think just him willing to be able to get off the ball and do that and make plays. I think we got a rebound, and he kicked it to Lou by our bench. Lou got a 3. He didn't even make it, and then he threw it to him again. I threw it to him 2 times in a row. I think that kind of just speaks to, you know, the trust he has in all of us to make plays, and he's willing to live with the result, making the right play.
Were you surprised about Chet's end of it, just the difficulty in grabbing it with one hand?
I didn't think he was going to grab it with one hand. I would not have done that. So shout out Chet for being 7 feet. But yeah, that was. If you ask him, he'll probably say it was pretty easy. You know, I'm not a footer, so I don't really know what to say, but I definitely would not have grabbed that with one hand. So
Thanks, Doug.
cool. Bye, guys.